race number 2 of the OSRL Friday Night Supercar Series. First season, and we can't be more excited right now. The driver of the 70 machine, and Harry Grindell, is the fastest driver on the circuit for what was the Winton Motor Raceway 200. We have gotten the word, however, it will be cut down. We were originally meant to have a doubleheader. It will not be anymore. The 42-lap feature has been slashed, and it looks like in its place we'll have the 25-lap feature that was originally intended to be a sprint as your headlining event for tonight's festivities. The driver of Grindell on top of the charts. Triffin Davis is in second in the 96 machine, and Jack Painter in third, just about a half second behind him on timing and scoring. Chase Schaefer in fourth. Tyler Williams, last week's winner, in fifth, and Josh Stoltz is in seventh. Cole Fralick in sixth on timing and scoring so far will not be racing, meaning as it stands with 1 minute and 38 seconds remaining before we head to qualifying, a field of 6 getting ready to take on the 25-lap main event. And as it stands, mostly returning drivers. As a matter of fact, I think every driver who's in this race was in last week's event. And of course, they went to Phillip Island last week. Here, still in Australia, it's Winton Motor Raceway, and it is a track-sponsored event here. Nobody else on the premier sponsorship for tonight. And the driver of the 199 Red Bull machine still eating the curbs up here as he's 7th on the charts right now, looking to get just a bit quicker. That time by was his best lap. Might be able to improve just a bit more, as he is only about a second off of the pace. Tyler Williams still on pit road. As a matter of fact, the only driver not on pit road is Josh Stoltz, meaning as it stands with about a minute to go till practice concludes, we only have one driver on the track, and Triffin Davis looks to be the fastest, as nobody else will have time to get another lap in. Maybe Josh Stoltz, but it will be a challenge. It looks like right now he's about half a second off of his average pace. As the Vauxhall number 70 machine goes right by there, this is Harry Grindell, and he has put on a show in practice, leading by a wide margin until very, very recently, as Triffin Davis goes to the top of the board, and it looks like we will have some extra time before practice does in fact conclude. Grindell in the 70 trying to chase down that fastest lap, a 1 minute 21.050. We'll see what he's able to do so it looks like we're going to have about a minute or so of extra time. Not anymore. No activity recorded on the track, and Triffin Davis is the top lap setter here in practice. Now we move on to qualifying and see if we can get that coveted pole position. Practice is over. Now 10 minutes to decide who ends up on top here in qualifying for the second race of the season. Let's find out. Jack Painter already on track in the number 97 machine, and it looks like a few others on their way as well. Once again, this is going to be open qualifying, so drivers will have the ability to be on the track with one another at the same time. Makes it all the more exciting as the laps go on. How about it? And it looks like before we get the 25-lap show underway, these guys will have as many laps as they want. I believe at the very most they can get about 6 or 7 out of this, as there are only 9 minutes remaining as Jack Painter goes right off the track, and he is still fighting that car. Chase Schaefer on the track for the first time as well. Triffin Davis, similar situation on the 96 machine, and Tyler Williams exiting pit road, and he's going to make it to the S's. And that's going to be the first turn of this circuit. The Motorsport News S's, and that's going to line him up for the British Petroleum Ultimate Straightaway. And every single corner and every single straightaway appears to be sponsored. Now he's on to the Honda corner, and he's going to make his way up to the Nissan corner. Not anymore. Bins it into the wall as Chase Schaefer is on his way and almost getting to the start-finish line, just about a hairpin away as he goes through the Gatomi corner, and he's going to make it down to the Northern BM corner as he is chasing Triffin Davis, who's already made it all the way there. And he is currently one of the closest drivers to that start-finish line. Tyler Williams already onto his second lap according to timing and scoring, because his first lap did get invalidated due to the incident they had very early on. Jack Painter, top of the charts right now with 130.560. Now Triffin Davis looks to be about 8 seconds faster on his out lap, and both laps won't count. Either way, now next lap's all that matters. 8 minutes remaining on the clock here, and it looks like everyone getting ready for lap number 2. Draco, number 96 machine on the move here in Winton Motor Raceway. And it looks to be one of the fastest drivers on the track. Driving Davis only about 0.3 of a second off of his pace, as Tyler Williams having a lot of trouble here. Last week's winner not having a great time so far. Looks to be about 7 seconds off the pace on this lap. And of course, coming out of his outlap, still looks a bit squirrely. Not as much control as he wants out of that one. And he'll still keep fighting on, trying to get a bit more pace, a bit more grip out of it, as Jack Painter goes on his way as well. Josh Stoltz on the track here. Looks like he's already gone through 2 laps with an incident. And now, Stoltz in the 199 machine, pushing once again. Maybe going to be able to get something out of it onto his 3rd time and scoring lap. Maybe this could be his first complete. Right now, Jack Painter going to come down to the stripe once again. Just going to be a few corners time before he gets there. And while he does that, as he is going to make his way down the Daytona straight, it looks like he'll be the first man to set a time that's going to count on the standings. Jack Painter, top of the charts, and that's going to be a 1 minute, 0.322. Painter on the move. Tyler Williams on his way as well in the number 34 machine as he is chasing Josh Stoltz. Stoltz looks to might have had an invalidated lap already as Trevor Davis sets a 1 minute, 21.069, and Davis now at the top of the board here, 3 laps into his qualifying run. 6 minutes and 34 seconds remain here, and an average lap appears to be about 1 minute 22 seconds, according to your top 2 drivers right now. Tyler Williams going to come across the line very, very soon as he is still chasing Josh Stoltz right in front of him, and Chase Schaefer trying to get back to the both of them as well as he is looking for his first lap to be validated. His 2nd lap on the charts not going to be going through. It was a 1 minute 21.967 with an incident, and it looks like he's still going to have to fight for more. Almost gets in the grass there. And it's going to be very picky. iRacing is when it comes to where you are on the track. If you end up off the track or if you end up deserving a penalty as a result, it all comes down to how you place yourself lap after lap. And it comes down to where you place yourself turn after turn. Schaefer, knowing this, going to have to play by the rules here if he wants to get himself back up into the top conversation. Josh Stoltz back on the track. Tyler Williams having trouble still. No validated lap for the man in the 34 machine. Not good for him. Good for Chase Schaefer. This lap has been. Might just be a bit quicker. Looks like it's about 0.2 of a second faster. Coming back down to the keeping it straight. And he will be able to put this one on the board, it appears. Schaefer, number 19. That's a 1 minute 21.860. Now he's on the board. And Jack Painter, sure to follow. Still 3rd on the charts. Josh Stoltz and Tyler Williams on the track as well. Harry Brindell has not gone on track for qualifying. Might mean something here. We'll see whether or not he does end up in the main event as Josh Stoltz in the 199 machine has been passed by the driver of Painter. Tyler Williams on his way now to his 5th lap according to timing and scoring. And every lap appears something's happened in the first sector for his timing to be invalidated. And Williams facing that. And it looks like this time by might have a bit of an advantage. Goes a little wide there. Nothing out of the ordinary though. And he keeps pushing down to the inside once again, stripe to stripe. This one might just be the cleanest lap that Tyler Williams has gotten all session long, and he's going to need it if he wants to put himself in the winning conversation. The key to me corner, far from the key to me straight, but he's almost there, and Williams goes around immediately after. Now he looks to be in a bit of trouble if he wants to get a lap in here in qualifying. Josh Stoltz in a similar level of trouble. He looks to be about 11 seconds off his own pace, according to that last lap. Now he's going to have to be on the move. He wants to make something happen. 1 minute 29.386 that time by for Josh Stoltz. Would have been 4th. Now he is still in the 7th spot. Cole Freilich still looks to be in 5th, even though he will not be racing this event. And unbelievable. Josh Stoltz still fighting through this one. Chase Schaefer, 0.6 of a second off of the pole position time right now with 1 minute 21.641. And Jack Painter going back out on track himself. As down to the curbs, Chase Schaefer using everything he has on this track to make himself just a bit quicker. And the 19 machine pushing like there's no tomorrow. Back and forth, coming closer to the Kidney corner, right out of the Porsche corner. And my apologies, the Penrite corner as well. And he is fighting the car as he's going to make it to the Northern BM corner and find himself on Falcon Straight very, very soon. Schaefer has some pace, looks to be about 0.3 of a second quicker than his average pace lap after lap in qualifying. And Jack Painter 1 minute 21.989, looks to be within a second of your leader as Tyler Williams back on track again. And Williams looking to right the wrongs here, and he has been fighting. Now might be his chance to put himself into the conversation in qualifying, as he's only got a few more corners to make it. He makes it past the treacherous area where he spun last time by, and now Josh Stoltz goes up to fourth with a 1 minute 23.8 on the dot. Williams now has to strike back, put himself in the conversation. Jack Painter on track as well, but it looks like Tyler Williams will be able to do it this time by. Down the Kitty straight, he is going to go now. He just has to keep it straight, and he will make it to his first fully clean lap. Now the 34 gets to put it on the board. Last week's winner goes up to fourth. And now, time to improve from there, taking it slow and steady, and let's see if we can win the race in qualifying here by pushing it to the limit. And riding on board with the 34 machine, that is what we are going to do. And here it is, hood cam, and he's going to get it all squirreled up, and he's going to put it into the gravel once again. The limit. Hard to keep on for Tyler Williams as he's back on pit road. Josh Stoltz appears to be the only driver now going for time in qualifying. And you can hear the engine revving gear after gear. How do we go inside the car, see what's going on there? Because certainly a lot is happening for the driver of the number 199 machine. Down the straight once again, you can see the rear wing, everything being pushed right through. The wind going right by the Can-Am rear wing. And on board, here's the cockpit from fourth to third gear. You can see nothing besides that gear change. And now the light's coming back up. Fourth gear down the straight, and he's going to have to hit the brakes real hard here. Puts it down into second. It's a little bit hard from the driver's perspective to tell where the gear indicator is. You're going to have to tell by sound or tell by iRacing's virtual indicators of gear shifting. With 54 seconds, time running out for Josh Stoltz to get it any quicker. Chase Schaefer is in second. Jack Painter is in third. But Josh Stoltz looks like he has an advantage here and might be able to make it happen. And getting one more lap across the stripe. We'll see whether or not Stoltz is capable of doing just that. 5 drivers have gone on track for qualifying, and Cole Freilich will not be racing. Harry Grindello will find out whether or not he is racing, but if he is not, 5 drivers have taken the field for qualifying, and that will leave us with a total of 5 or 6, depending on who shows up in this event. The main event coming very, very soon. Now a 25-lap showdown. Third race of the season has been axed, and everything will be edited accordingly following this event. Apologies for the premature introduction to that statement, but we found out very, very late into this one. Coming down the stripe, Josh Stoltz once again looks to improve, and that is what he will not be able to do. Now he has 1 minute and 54 seconds remaining of extra qualifying time as Trevin Davis leads here, and Stoltz puts it in the books. 1 minute, 42 seconds. Schaefer's despawned. Jack Painter there as well. And actually, as a matter of fact, looks like Chase Schaefer is on the track watching on board from the 19 machine. And Schaefer, now you can see the whole dashboard and everything that he's seeing in his Ford Mustang. A much different view from the Holdens. And using that to his advantage, these Ford Mustangs brand new to the V8 Supercar Series that is ran in Australia, and the Holdens being axed this year in favor of Chevrolet as the Holden brand unfortunately making its commercial car exit for the foreseeable future following 2022. And Schaefer with his Ford Mustang knows that the Ford Motor Company not in danger of doing just that. This time by Schaefer's lap will be invalidated for the man who's now put together more laps than anyone with a total of 9 in the books. Puts down another, a 1 minute 21.978. Game over for the man in the 19, Jack Painter, the only driver on the track. And it looks like now that might not even be the case, but it is. And Jack Painter, 97 machine, is still waiting for qualifying to conclude. 30 seconds, and it looks like the grid has already been set. How about that? For every one of these drivers, it looks like a total of 7 have registered for this event, and it looks like, at the very most, we will have 6 going at it by the time the green flag drops for the first time in Winton Motor Raceway for the OSRL Friday Supercar Series. And it's a pleasure to have you all here tonight. Certainly a different tone of racing compared to what we are used to, but it will still be an exciting event nonetheless. Qualifying is over, and Trevin Davis, the fastest man heading us toward the green flag for the first time. 25 laps, the distance, and the difference between first and second now only a few tenths away. Davis, populating your screen. Let's get your starting grid and read it out before we get going for a standing start number 2 on the year. Grindell will be racing with us. Chase Schaefer, the only driver appearing not to be on the surface. And that means that the only man we're waiting on would be Schaefer, as Cole Freilich not running in this event. Starting grid on your screen here. Jack Painter in third, but Trevin Davis leading with a 1 minute 20.987. From there on out, 121.641 for Chase Schaefer, the only driver not on the grid just yet. From there on out, Jack Painter with a 121.989 and Tyler Williams with a 1.22.666. This driver's already going to get revved up. Josh Stoltz in 5th, Harry Riddell in 6th, and that's going to be the books from here. The drivers already going here in Winton. And all 6 pushing, and the man out front, it is Trevin Davis, as they lead through the first set of turns. 96 on his way by a long shot here, and a big maneuver there. Chase Schaefer going to go way wide. Putting up our timing and scoring systems once again. Give us just a moment as everyone's going to blink out, and you can see Chase Schaefer having to fight for that 3rd spot here, as Trevin Davis already running away with this one. On board with Chase Schaefer once more. If you look on board with the Holden, much different interior. And these guys moving once again. Jack Painter right behind Harry Grindell, and Josh Stoltz still with them. Everyone just getting settled in, while the 96 machine has the advantage early on. Tyler Williams in second now. Struggling qualifying, but nonetheless pulling it back together here in the race. And doing a great job of just that. Chase Schaefer right behind him now. And both of these guys are pushing like their lives depend on it. The battle for 4th right now heating up as Harry Grindell leads Painter and Josh Stoltz, and they're fighting as hard as they can. This time by, Trevin Davis going to lead into the stripe and leads lap 1 of 25. Now we find ourselves on the 2nd lap of this event. Chase Schaefer and Tyler Williams look to be about a second out, and from there on, the battle for 4th right behind him with Grindell, Painter, and Stoltz is 2 seconds back as Jack Painter goes around. Big time incident all the way around. The DeWalt number 97 is in trouble. Let's get an instant replay and find out what just happened, as it looks like this is a big one, and Jack Painter looks like this one might just be self-inflicted. The 97 goes way wide, hits a curb coming out, and that's going to destroy him. And those curbs, sausage curbs on the Kidney Straight, destroyed the 97 machine, and there you have it. Jack Painter is still on pit road. Unbelievable circumstance for the man in the 96 machine, as everyone is still chasing. Trevin Davis leading by a wide margin. Chase Schaefer back up to 2nd, and Harry Grindell in 3rd, with Josh Stoltz and Tyler Williams fighting, while Jack Painter is far out of the lead mix. Only for now. We'll see whether or not he's able to keep back up as Chase Schaefer leads the remainder of the pack here in Winton, 2 laps in out of 25. And Schaefer, the 19 machine for Monster Designs, putting on a good show here, but he's about 4 seconds off. And Davis looking to pull home a dominating victory, while Grindell and Josh Stoltz go at it, and Tyler Williams chasing the both of them. And Williams pushing as hard as ever. Jack Painter 1 lap down now. 5 cars on the lead lap here. Comes down to them. And 34 Williams now trying to make a move on Josh Stoltz. Down to the inside line. Chase Schaefer goes around on his own. And now it looks like Grindell's in 2nd. And Chase Schaefer immediately despawned. I think that's his race. Chase Schaefer disconnecting after an early spin. Now 4 men are remaining to battle for the victory. Let's find out what happened once again. Instant replay going to be called out. Now, let's see what happened to the man in that 99 machine, and it looks like it happened to himself. And Schaefer coming down the Kidney Straight, gets a bit into the sand, and oh, he's just going to go around immediately after. And iRacing getting into the sand, the gravel, or the grass. It's done and done no matter what. And he absolutely did disconnect immediately thereafter. A shame to see for Chase Schaefer in the number 99 machine, but that is how it goes, and Trevin Davis still leads the show. Harry Grindell in second, Tyler Williams is in third, and Josh Stoltz is in fourth. Jack Painter still on pit road right now, while Davis comes down to the line, and he's got about a 5.5 second advantage over the remainder of the field now. Lap forward of 25, it's underway, and Grindell pulling away from the battle for the third position. And with Harry Grindell pulling away, it comes down to Stoltz and Williams to settle it amongst each other for this third position outside the podium. And that they are for the drivers of Stoltz, Schaefer, and Painter. But Josh Stoltz still has a chance. Tyler Williams third, Grindell second, and Trevin Davis is in first. And by a long shot here, the 96 has a shot to wrap it up, so long as he keeps it on the track. Through the Kinnamy corner, Harry Grindell about 6 seconds behind your race leader, Tyler Williams in third. Josh Stoltz is in fourth, and Jack Painter is 2 laps down now. With Grindell running away from this one, the battle between third and fourth looks to be dissipating ever so slightly, and while it is, now Williams gets into the grass just a bit, and Grindell pulling away further, while Josh Stoltz has yet another opportunity to make it within a second right now. It looks to be a 1.5 seconds. And Josh Stoltz gonna have to reel the man in the 34 back in if he wants a chance at that victory. Into the stripe once again for Grindell, pretty far out on these guys. While Grindell is chasing Trevin Davis, Tyler Williams might just have the pace to chase down the man in second. And it's about a second, now 2 seconds, between your top 2 drivers, and actually top 3 as well. You can see one driver went to the grass there, and it looks like it was not one of these guys. As down the straightaways once again, pushing as hard as ever in a Honda corner. Trevin Davis looks to have a major advantage of about 5 seconds. Harry Grindell now trying to reel him back in. And that time by, he was about 0.4 seconds slower. And now he looks to be about 0.8 up on his average compared to Davis, going about a second down. This is bad news for the 96 machine, and the battle for the lead might just get a reset that these guys have been hoping for. If you're behind Trevin Davis, you want that reset, you want a chance at that victory, and Harry Grindell might just be pushing toward it. Tyler Williams in the same spot chasing, and Josh Stoltz is there as well. Davis still in first with a 1 minute 22.235. That time by, nobody in his sight. Everyone out of frame when he goes through after a straightaway or so. And you can see Grindell only has about a 1.5 seconds over the man in the 34 in Tyler Williams. 5 laps in, out of 25 already, about a fifth of the way through, and then some. Davis putting on a show here. And with Trevin far out front, hard to understand how anyone could be so consistent. That time by, though, not too consistent, as he looked to be about 0.7 off of Harry Grindell. Grindell put down a 122.657, while Trevin Davis put down a 123.596. Now, Trevin has to put it back on and get the fire rolling. Well, he's lit his own fire. He's got to make sure that the distance is extended. Now it's back up to 5.5 seconds between your top 2 drivers. And the 96 Wico machine out in front. Checking back up in the battle here for third. It looks like Tyler Williams going to get a bit of a bobble there. And now he's about 2 seconds back on Grindell. Josh Stoltz in a word of his own right about there. 5 seconds off of the man in third. Jack Painter still taking repairs, it appears. And all A-Class remaining here in this session. Everyone who's still on the track has an A-Class road license. And Trevin Davis and the like up front, proving it for certain, as Grindell now losing time once again, trying to break the draft, going for the inside to the outside, making his way into a corner once more. And with Grindell knowing the pressure is on to keep that spot, he's going to push that much harder. Tyler Williams still right there behind him. Davis still pushing through as he's already made to lap 7 of 25. And the action, it is far from over here. as he has about a 6-second lead, and Tyler Williams only about a 1.5 seconds behind Harry Grindell. How about we ride on board with the man in that number 34 machine? And watching from within, here's the view from Tyler Williams. And you can see, feathering that throttle there, just giving it a bit of power, giving it as much power as possible before it goes all the way over, and trying to overcorrect it. Well, of course, trying to avoid an overcorrection as he corrects it just a bit after putting down the power. A very sensitive vehicle. These Holdens and Mustangs are. And he's pushing ever so slightly, just trying to get an edge time after time over the man right in front. His adversary in this event, Harry Grindell. And Grindell in his Holden, 3rd gear. Now he's up to it, 4th gear. And coming down the straightaways, Tyler Williams always has an opportunity to gain. And as you can see, nothing from this angle, but from this angle, Williams now about 2 seconds off and even out of frame coming down the Kidney straight. 8 laps, we're through them, and now almost coming up on halfway already. And Harry Grindell is on the move here. Coming through the first section, the S's, and Tyler Williams is going to miss it big time here. He keeps on going, but Grindell now has a few seconds of padding. Once again, Tyler Williams is out of control here. And Harry Grindell leading by 6 seconds overall on the remainder of the field. 8 laps in, out of 25. Josh Stoltz, 4th position now, and he's about 9 seconds off of 3rd. The closest battle on the racetrack continues to be Harry Grindell and Tyler Williams. And Williams trying to fight hard to keep it together. As we saw, he had a bit of a bobble going through the S's. And while they messed him up, he's still pretty close. If Grindell makes a mistake, he still has an opportunity to get back up. And Williams is going to make a mistake. A big mistake. And he's going to go up and over there. My goodness, Tyler Williams is in no man's land. And now I look to be in no man's land. Internet issue. Looks like we had it, but Driving Davis keeps on going. And we keep on going as well. Our apologies. Looks like something happened there. Connection not helping us. And we appear to be back as Tyler Williams is down and out. Let's get an instant replay. Apologies. Some of you guys might have missed that because we actually did lose a bit of connection the moment that wreck happened. And Tyler Williams has an incident. It looks like a self-spin. And he looks to be down and out. 3 drivers remain here in Winton. And Williams just takes it to the infield, and he knows it's done by then, immediately disconnects. He's done, and that is his race. Now, it looks to be 3 drivers on the racing surface as we send it back to the live feed. How about that? Driving Davis still leading by a wide margin here. And now it's about a 6-second gap over Harry Grindell, and no battle for second now. Grindell has it for certain. Josh Stoltz, however, knows 3rd. He can get a little bit more than that, so long as he drives it perfect, and Harry Grindell tries to catch up, or rather, tries to give him some time here. And Harry Grindell has a 13-second advantage over Josh Stoltz, while Driving Davis has a 6-second advantage over Harry Grindell. Unbelievable, the advantage that Davis has been able to build up. He has been incredibly consistent lap after lap, only about 9/10 of a second off of the best lap this race has seen overall. And that best lap, well, it was set by who else but the driver of that 96. And its fastest was the 1:22.379 of the 96. Grindell, 2nd position with a 1:22.860 that time by. And now, Davis sets the all-time fastest lap with a 1:21.8 flat. And Driving Davis is a man on the move as we see him blink out just a bit. Harry Grindell now has to push his pace as Davis is all the way on the curbs, just setting the hot laps here. He has such a gap. He's going to be able to do just that, and nobody will give him any hard times. Grindell, 2nd. Josh Stoltz having trouble pulling it into pit road. Looks like he's going to go down for some service, and this could be an early strategy move. Maybe it is, maybe it isn't, and now Josh Stoltz tows it immediately after. Not sure what that's about, but he's going to be off the track for quite a while. And Josh Stoltz looks to be off the track entirely. Now we're down to 2 drivers here. And you begin to worry at that point if something is going on. Every time a driver retires, it looks like it hurts our internet a bit more because we see the internet connect and disconnects time after time. And now it's between Davis and Harry Grindell. No incident for Josh Stoltz. He just pulled it in. He rolled it into the shop there. Now Grindell might just know that it's over. Trevin Davis leads by about 7.5 seconds, but these guys are pretty far out. If Trevin Davis doesn't make a mistake, I think the race might just be over for Grindel. Grindel's definitely going to get second by this point on. There's absolutely no way anyone takes that away from him. But Davis, nothing more that he can do besides keep going. We come down to the halfway point this time by down the straightaway, kidding me. And now he is on to lap 11 for certain. And through the Nissan corner, he already goes. The first 3 corners of this track, he's dealing with them. And dealing with them quite effectively is Harry Grindella pushing as well. And OBS having a bit of an issue. iRacing giving us a little bit of a mixed signal time after time. And our apologies for that. It looks like an issue only on the stream side of things. But we keep going. And certainly Trevin Davis keeps going. What a show he is putting on time after time, lap after lap. And nobody is on his level tonight. Unbelievable job for the man in the 96 machine. Nonetheless, he's pushing like nothing's happening. And Harry Grindel gets it a little bit tight. And a lot of guys already talking about how the car just would not push here at Winton. And unfortunately, it looks like that is the reason we lost drivers such as Josh Stoltz and Tyler Williams. And now, it's a straight up duel between 2 drivers. And those 2 are Grindel and Davis. And they're fighting like there's no tomorrow. Davis leading by a wide margin here. And Harry Grindel is still in second. 70 machine right behind the 96. And the 96 is fighting like there's nothing left. A great job being put together by Trevin Davis nonetheless. As he comes down the stripe once again on lap 12 here. And the effort being put together as Davis trying to lock up this victory. Going to be a challenge to do just that. But he still keeps on fighting like he's got something in it. And apologies for the buffering on your end. It looks like the drivers on iRacing have a bit of trouble as well. It might just be iRacing giving us a few mixed signals. And we will try to take down the bit rate as it looks like internet outages once again affecting our area. And whenever that happens, you already know that we're going to have to work on that accordingly and adjusting. We are right now trying to make sure that everything is possible to keep on going here as the race is still in session. And the driver of the 96 machine in Trevin Davis is still leading only one other driver on the racing surface right now. And that is Harry Grindel. It's between those 2 drivers, the men up front, the 96 and the 70, first and second by a wide margin here. And they are fighting and putting together a great effort. And while it might not be too much of a fight right now, 8 seconds, Grindel slowly but surely going to make it around once again and not going to go into pit road. He is still fighting the car, gets into the dirt just a bit as well. And the effort, it is being placed as he's about 8.5 seconds behind Trevin Davis, 13 laps in out of 25. And how about we take a lap on board with the man of that 96 machine in Trevin Davis and see what he's seeing. Third gear, as he's going to take it down. The first series of corners appears to be a clone of one another, and he will take it through. Not the S's this time by. As he goes down through 4th gear, keeps it in the low revving segment, trying to make sure he doesn't push the car all too hard. And down to 2nd. 2nd gear, very slow, runs it slowly and surely. And you can see, keeping it in 2nd, being very delicate with the car. That is the goal for the man who leads this race. Just wants to keep it on the track here. That is his end goal. And 3rd gear, now 4th gear, as nobody is on the straightaway with him. It is a job well done by the man who leads this one in Davis to keep it very close to the edge and push nonetheless. That time by was a 1 minute 22.378 for your race leader of Trevin Davis. And all the way down, once again, coming down to the Kidding Me straight. And these laps are shorter than you would believe. It's a very short track here in Winton. And it was a very quick lap there from Trevin Davis. That time by to the stripe. That's 1 minute 22.083 for the man who leads this one. And Davis coming through the S's. And with nobody on his level, Davis pulling away now has about a 10-second advantage. Harry Grindel still driving here. And he refuses to quit. The 70 machine gets into the curbs just a bit, but keeps going. And no stopping for these 2 drivers. Jack Painter still on pit road. But only 2 men continue to fight for the victory. As Grindel gets it a bit squirrely once again. And Trevin Davis still there. The 96 fighting hard. Grindel in the second spot. And in first, Driving Davis. And 14 laps in out of 25. Still a great hustle from every one of these drivers. You can see Grindel in the background there taking the Kidney corner, as Driving Davis has already made it to the next corner after that. And the dominance here for the 96 machine, it is unprecedented. And who else for the man out front in Davis to carry the torch here, as Harry Grindel in the second spot, 14 of 25, still moving and trying to make that time up. About a 9.3 second gap between the top two drivers, and the only two drivers still fighting, as Davis next time by going to come down to lap 15 of 25, and lap after that will signal 10 laps to go. And a great job being put on by the driver of the 96 machine, Harry Grindel. A similar situation that time by, both drivers within 1 minute and 22 second range. Incredibly consistent from every driver still in this one, and all two of them are pushing to wit's end and making it happen quite nicely. And down to the stripe once more. Not this time by. Driving Davis trying to make it there. Harry Grindel still in frame, about 9 seconds away, as Davis still pushing, and his average pace is still just a bit quicker than it. And this might just be another 1 minute 22 second lap. And despite the tires being worn 15 laps of age, this race has been moving, and these lap times have not been degraded all too much. And last time by, Davis was only 1/10 of a second off of the best lap time that he's ever set at this track. And coming down the stripe once again, this will signal 10 laps to go here in Winton. And Grindel in second right now, but this time by, Driving Davis takes us to 10 remaining. And down to the stripe. Once more, Driving Davis makes it. And 96 machine absolutely pushing as hard as he can. He's going to hop it just a bit. And now he knows he can do that. He's got a lot of wiggle room. And Harry Grindel, knowing that he will not lose second, no matter how hard he tries, nothing's going to happen to that spot as he gets just a bit in the dirt there. And that time for Harry Grindel, it was a 1 minute 22.704. As he's going to make it down once again, gets into the dirt. As you can see, Driving Davis beforehand hopped it up. And these two, in a world of their own, just putting down hot laps, and Driving Davis looks to be in trouble. This lap looks to be about seconds slower than his average. And now Grindel has a bit of an opportunity to gain back. 10 laps remaining. And Grindel would need that mistake out of the driver of the 96 machine 10 times over if he wants to win this event. And down the stripe, second gear again. Revving it way down, putting the power down immediately after. And slowly but surely finding his way back. Finding the footing. Harry Grindel trying to do so as he makes it down past the Kennedy corner. At the same time, Harry Grindel exits the straightaway that just ends itself after. And Harry Grindel now about 9 seconds flat away. And Driving Davis having the slowest race lap all this time. He comes down to 1 minute 23.955. 17 laps into this one. 9 laps remain. And still a great show being put on by the driver of the 96 machine. Nobody better here tonight than Driving Davis. Harry Grindel in second. Jack Painter is the only driver remaining on this racing service. He is in sixth and still on pit road, while Davis pushing as hard as he can. And nobody is on his level, as we've stated beforehand. And an impressive job nonetheless. The Ford Mustang 96 leads over the Holden Vauxhall of Harry Grindel. And unfortunately, sometimes you run out of things to say about when it comes to the positions. These guys are locked into their spots, and I know for certain they are locked into their driving, putting every single ounce of effort that they have. Driving Davis, that time by, going to lose a bit of time once again. And Davis, while losing time, it would be not even close to enough to lose the lead, as it's about an 8-second gap still coming down to the Kidney straightaway once more. And coming through the final corner, Harry Grindel's engine slightly roars out of frame. It's now within 9 seconds. And Grindel, having the opportunity to gain time, looks to be losing it, as that time through was a 1 minute 22.6 4 to a down lap for Driving Davis, but still a good lap overall. And Harry Grindell with 8 laps remaining, knowing time is running out on his expedition and his opportunity to get to the lead. 8 laps coming to the stripe. Next time by will become 7. And nobody on Driving Davis's level. Harry Grindell still about 9 seconds back, keeping a consistent gap here, but it's not enough to keep himself in the victory mix. This comes through the S's once more. And these two drivers, tales of different races, and they've still found themselves up front. The 7-car field whittled down to 2 men, and these two certainly locking up the drivers who have a shot at that victory. Everyone else has retired from this event, and nobody else on their pace. Now, Driving Davis having yet another down lap. It's now within 9 seconds as Grindell loses a bit of time at the same time. In 8.5 seconds it was for a very short moment. Harry Grindell has the advantage once again. We'll see whether or not he chooses to use it. And while it isn't all too much immediately at first glance, it's going to be much more coming down to the stripe. Last time by, Driving Davis at 1:23.385, and that time by for Harry Grindell at 1:23.207. And gaining at about 1/10 of a second a lap. Not going to help one out in getting that victory, but still gaining in on your race leader. 7 laps remain. And Driving Davis is on the move. Goes through the curbs, hopping time and time again, pushing the car to the limit. And still fighting every corner, going down to the apex and not missing them. The opportunity for Grindell to gain still there. And we'll see whether or not Driving Davis is going to let him have it, as he looks to be losing just a bit of time, taking a wide arc there, gets it a bit squirrely, gets into the dirt just a bit. And now Grindell yet another lap out of the zone. And Grindell having the opportunity to close once more. And so close to imperfection. Driving Davis pushing to the limit, and nobody on his level when it comes to that. Harry Grindell, knowing this, just has to play it calm and consistent if he wants a shot at that race victory. If you enjoy the action, be sure to like and subscribe. Not a lot of drivers tonight. Driving Davis is off big time, and he's going to very, very slowly get back on the track. And now Harry Grindell is in the mix. The lead battle has just been rejuvenated. And this is Grindell's time to pounce. Sends it in way wide. Very, very wide, and he's going to keep it on the track barely. 2 drivers separated by 1 second. And that was an 8-second lead put to waste in 1 turn. Unbelievable. Let's watch an instant replay of the matter and see what just happened. The man out front in Harry Grindell. And watching that instant replay coming down to the final few corners. You're going to see from his perspective, and you can see coming down the strike, gets it on the curbing, just gets it a bit squirrely. And so many drivers trying to push it in a similar vein. And Grindell just made his way over. They are separated by 0.6 of a second. Let's go back live here as they are still fighting. And the 96, the 70, separated by now 0.7 of a second. And these two have waited all race long to battle. 6 laps to go here from Winton. And down to the stripe once more. They're going to do it once again. You can see they are 2 nose to tail, the closest they've been all race long. Down to the stripe. Nose diving it in. The 96 and the 70 come down the stripe once more. Now will be 5 laps to go to determine the race victor. Harry Grindell now has the opportunity of a lifetime. And Grindell, half a second away. Gonna dive it in once again. Makes the apex. This time by, they both do. And Grindell gets a much earlier jump on the apex once more. And now, Harry has the advantage over Driving Davis. Davis has led 21 laps. Grindell has not led one of them. This could be defying the odds for the man who has led nothing so far, getting the 2nd win of the season in style. It's all possible from here on out. Grindell goes wide, and it looks like Davis going to follow him. Driving Davis going to block him off with a wide arc there, and Grindell going to take the more moderate approach from here on out. and different approaches time after time. The Ford goes wide, the Mustang goes in, and now Trevor Davis gets the exit that he's been looking for. Grindel only has the opportunity to follow. 5 laps remaining, and this time by it comes down to 4. And 2 cars all race long, 10 seconds apart or less. Now it's much less, it's 0.6 of a second. Unbelievable job by both of these drivers. And it's Ford and Holden, the classic Australian rivalry in supercars, and once more they do battle. 4 laps to go here in Winton, and they come down to the S's, flying once again, both of them hitting the curves, and Grindel, his best corner, he makes it through once again here, and what's he gonna do about it? Still following the man who's led every single lap, Davis in the dirt. Not going to lose much time. Grindel's still there. And down to the stripe, Harry Grindel gets squirrely once more. And it's going to be all about doing or dying at this point. These guys are oh so close to the limit. But a man out front knows that he's got to defend, and the man right behind him knows that the offense is all he has, as now it's about a second's worth of a gap. Grindel just slightly faster with 4 remaining on the clock. And the stripe, they will come to it once again. The checkered flag within sight for Harry Grindel and within sight for Trevin Davis. So long as they keep their cars together. Grindel goes wide once again. It's still about a second flat between the top 2 drivers. Trevin Davis is in first right now, and he has just a bit of an advantage. It's going to be just enough to keep him going. Now it's going to become 3 laps to go. Down the Kiddie Me straight once again. Grindel has to push if he wants this victory. And once again, they roll as hard as they can. Davis still there, leading. And he is going to take that one a bit more shallow, not getting up to the green section of the curb. Harry Grindel still is in reach, just a bit further away now. And it all comes down to how he's going to make himself available. Inside line, outside line, he's got a lot of options. As Grindel getting slowly but surely closer. A second to spare between your top 2 drivers and the only drivers who are continuing to race, as Grindel gets away squirrely, locks it up again, and now he loses just a bit more time. Half a second he loses. Unbelievable. Now Davis has a bit more of an advantage. And while he did lose 8 seconds, now he has to maintain the 1 second that he has over the remainder of the field, and that remainder is Harry Grindel. Davis down to the stripe once again, going through the final few corners, and it will become 2 laps to go for the man out front in the 96 machine. And the Weco 96 has led them all so far, only has to lead 2 more as he's trying to leave Harry Grindel behind. Unbelievable job here, and it's far from over. And watching for the rear view of Trevin Davis here in the 96 machine. Harry Grindel right behind him. And with 2 to go, he goes to the dirt, big time. He's going to keep going, but now he might have a slowdown penalty. Harry Grindel is on the chase. And now it gets even more intense. Grindel still getting closer here. He's going to have to serve something. Slowing down, he's got to do it. And you can see Harry Grindel is gaining slowly but surely in on your race leader. And this is what it all comes down to. 2 laps, 2 cars. The only remaining on track, and they are the only ones fighting for the lead. 3/10 separate your leaders. And the final lap, it all comes down to this. Harry Grindel, so close. Trevin Davis, he's led them all, but he's made 2 crucial mistakes in the last 5 laps. And he goes wide once again, trying to conserve his arc. Harry Grindel going to take it wide once again, trying to get some momentum out of it. And Grindel is oh so close. Trevin Davis knows he's so close to the checker flag as well. And coming down to the final section once more. Kiddie corner, and from there on out, he will be home to the final lap, and Harry Grindel has to do or die for this race victory. 2 cars, the 96, the 70. This is it. The Winton Motor Raceway 200 gonna all come down to this, the final lap, and it's 2 cars going for the lead. Trevin Davis still has it coming into the S's. Now it's going to be Harry Grindel having to push all the way. Grindel just does that, and you can see Davis right behind him. Grindel still is in the mix here, and you can see the 70 machine still pushing. The 96 goes a little wide. Now Grindel is going to have to be on the offense. Davis, no mistake so far. If he makes one, and it's all over from here on out. It's do or die. It's send or no send. And Grindel knows this as well. 0.8 of a second between the top two drivers. Davis gets it way scrolled out there, and he loses a lot of drive. The left side tires were all the way off of the racing surface. And this battle, it's been intense. Grindel last week battled with the driver of Rudy Valentine. Now he goes down to the inside line. They're going to be side by side down the final straightaway. Grindel has an opportunity, and he's going to have to concede for now. It's do or die. The final segment, the final few turns. And Grindel's still there. He's going to come down the straight, and you can see how close they are to one another. Unbelievable. Grindel in the draft. Going to have to move out to the inside line if he wants to make anything happen. Grindel, his final shot, coming through the final corner. Trippin Davis is there, and coming to the strip. It's going to be a solid finish, but I think coming down to the line here, it's going to be close. Harry Grindel does not get it. It's going to be Trippin Davis by 22 thousandths of a second. Oh my goodness. And burning it down immediately after. And now, we've got to see that all over again. The chopper camera going to be called out, and let's get an instant replay on that final run. And what a move Grindel makes. A daring one, a clean one, and most importantly, an exciting one as a great finish comes out of it. What a show put on by these two drivers. And Grindel knows the move has to be made. He goes down to the inside line. He gets a monster run. And kidding me straight, very, very long here. And look how close they end up at the line. Great job by both drivers. And Grindel drives it clean all the way to the stripe. Unbelievable. And Grindel coming home in second. And it looks like we can get an interview with the man who finished in the second spot. And it looks like that race, for so much time, you were down there 10 seconds back. But it all came down to 22 thousandths. A photo finish in the second race of the series. And Harry Grindel, you're oh so close there. What a race it was. Can you walk us through your perspective?
Yeah, I mean I wasn't really enjoying this track, to be honest with you. It's not really got it's not got a natural sort of flow to it. So I was just trying to sort of make sure I finished. And yeah, Triffin was up there. He was like 9-10 seconds ahead consistently, and then all of a sudden he goes from like 8.5 to 2 on one lap, and it looked like the pressure once that happened just sort of kept sort of reeling him back in every time he'd start to pull away again. And yeah, couple of times I thought I might have a chance on the final lap. We were side by side coming onto that straight, but he had the pull. But yeah, he just kind of missed the apex in the final corner. I just sort of plucked it in second, gave it some jandle, and fuck yes, to quote Shane Van Gisbergen, and almost had it. Almost had it. It was about a bumper and a wheel was the difference in it. But yeah, a lot of attrition this race. So happy I finished, but what a finish. If that's not the closest finish of this season, I'll be very surprised.
Absolutely. What a finish that was. And that final lap, you played it almost perfect there, going down to the inside line on the final corner, and you were in the slipstream the whole time. It looked like there might not been an opportunity, but that final corner, you pulled one out of the bag, and you were about 3/10 out majority of the lap. And while it was about the closest you've been consistently for a lap, when it all came down to it, you were almost there. And can you walk us through that process, making that move so late?
Yeah, I mean, it was mainly just keeping composure and keeping control of my right foot. This car has a lot of horsepower. The tires don't really handle the horsepower all that well at the slow speeds. High speed, sure, but this isn't a high-speed track. So it was mainly just trying to keep control of my right foot and not spin those tires and keep the car under control. And that's probably what lost me the run the first time I got alongside of him, was being a bit too cautious. But yeah, coming out of the final corner, that's what got me that run, was being a bit too cautious. And yeah, just fate had its hand from there and not quite enough. But yeah, this car is all about patience and it's all about finesse. And tell you what, for both of us to finish this race today, there was a lot of it going on in both of these cars.
And absolutely a race of attrition. They're the only drivers to make it to the stripe. Nobody else able to do so. And can you walk us through how challenging it was to handle the car lap after lap?
Oh, it was a difficult one, absolutely. I mean, this is a car that really doesn't take kindly to aggressive driving. So you've got to be easy on the brakes. You've got to be easy on the throttle. It's one of those where it feels really confident until it suddenly isn't. The limit of grip is very narrow in this car, so it's mainly about minding your limits and not overdriving the car. And we saw a few times in this race with the few people. Jack got on a curb and ended up going around. Tyler locked a brake and ended up going around. It's one of those things where it's so easy to make mistakes, and for those mistakes to go from seemingly small mistakes as they start out to then get massively exaggerated by just how poorly the car takes to it. So it's definitely a hard one. It's a lot of restraint, and it's a lot of mental as much as it is physical and driving ability. It's that mental ability to control yourself and to mind the limits of the car.
Minding the limits indeed. And the next race on the schedule, it would have been actually immediately after tonight, and it would have been a 42 lap feature, but that will not happen. Next week will end up being our third race of the season, the Circuit of the Americas, and that's going to be a totally different change of pace from the Australian tracks we've been going to. Major elevation and major wide running areas and a lot more pavement. If you go off, it won't be doom and gloom immediately. So how much of a change is it going to be, and will we expect to see you there?
Well, yeah, absolutely. I'll be there. It's going to be a very different track indeed. Both of them are quite sort of unnatural in how their pacing is. This track, I was struggling with this track because it's not natural at all, with all this kind of like the corners. They're all 90 degrees. They're all slow speed hairpins. COTA is also a very unnatural track, but it's unnatural in a different way. It's more kind of the way that the corners open and tighten. It's very sort of abrupt in how the corners do what they do. Whereas here, the corners are kind of constant, if you will. They're kind of like, they'll turn the wheel once and get it through. Whereas COTA, it's a hell of a lot more sort of there's a lot more variance in how you take each corner. Again, like you said, the elevation change. As much as there's a bit of a hill here at Winton, COTA is a whole different beast with elevation. You've got a massive hill up to turn one, and then it comes back down. I believe we're running the short version of COTA, so you go through that shortcut. There's a big dip in that shortcut, so I'm sure that might catch a few people out as well. So it's going to be a whole different beast, and yeah, a lot of braking at COTA as well. There was a bit here, but it's a lot more at COTA. So I'd be watching out for locked brakes and people getting sideways doing that next week.
And next week going to be a challenge of its own, but a race of attrition for Harry Grindell, coming up short by only 22 thousandths of a second. Runner-up tonight. Any final thoughts?
Yeah. Like I said, happy to finish this race. Huge shout out to Jack for putting this on. This wasn't the turnout we were really wanting, but to be honest, with a track like Winton, it's one of those kind of niche tracks on the iRacing platform, so not many people will have it. So huge thanks to him for putting it on and having this track. As much as I didn't really enjoy the track, it's good to get out there and try new tracks and see what's out there. So yeah, huge shout out to him. Huge thanks to you for streaming and broadcasting this, to Team Kamikaze. And I suppose I should thank Vauxhall and Opel for this insignia that I'm driving. This isn't a Holden Commodore, this is a Vauxhall insignia is what I'm driving.
Well, how about that? Different manufacturer tonight, but nonetheless coming up with an incredible finish. Thank you for stopping by, Harry Grindell on the 70 machine.
Yeah, thank you very much.
There we have it. That will end up your podium procedure, as it looks like Josh Stoltz and Triffin Davis are not drivers we'll be able to communicate with tonight, and we are putting on a replay, as it looks like we have the most viewers we've had all night long going through the interviews. So that's a little bit of an interesting predicament, as we will get your race results up immediately. And there was the finish there, and you have seen it once again, and what a finish that was. And as everyone slows down and everyone runs off the racing surface, here are your race results. And they're a little bit short tonight. Admittedly, only 2 drivers were able to finish the race, and only 7 showed up, but let's go through them one by one nonetheless. And here you have it. Your race results go as follows. Triffin Davis qualifying first, finished first by 22 thousandths of a second, as Harry Grindell finished in second from 6th. And from there on out, Josh Stoltz, Tyler Williams, Chase Schaefer, Jack Painter, and Cole Freilich are all retirees two drivers finish, and what a finish they both had. And guys, thank you all for watching this one. What a race it was. A lot of time. It looked like it was going to be a runaway for Driving Davis, but he had to work for it. That is for certain. And Davis coming out on top. We'll see whether or not he comes out on top next week at the Circuit of the Americas. We will be back with the FORL Cup Series immediately on Wednesday night, and that will be the All-Star event, a great event they're going to be able to put on, and we hope to see that one in action. Going to be a great show, and we hope that you are along for the ride for that one. Thank you all for stopping by, and we hope you have a great night, and we hope to catch you whenever we are live once again. Your support means the world, and we hope to have you once more watching live on FT.